Relativity?
Konnichiwa, we need a report on the ship's condition. You have to tell us what happened.
I don't know yet.
Let me talk to the captain.
Not possible, I'm afraid. The captain has apparently gone outside.
Into space?
That's the only place you can go to from here. And I have reason to believe that when she went out, she wasn't wearing a suit. Relativity?
Where is the rest of the crew?
I don't know. I don't see any of them.
You can't locate any of the other 20 people.
In a ship the size of a small town? No. Relativity? Sounds like we're going to be working closely from now on. We can't keep calling each other Konieczny and Mission Control.
Official protocols for mission communication
Probably don't apply anymore, so just call me Chris, please. And tell me your name?
Sophia.
Sophia, that's reassuring. It means wisdom, you know.
Listen, there are some things we haven't told you.
Well, that's only fair. Because, my new friend Sophia, there are also some things I haven't told you.
Relativity.
Relativity. Episode 2, in which a personnel problem is revealed.
We would all be very interested in hearing them.
The things I haven't told you?
Correct.
Oh, now you brought it up. You tell me what you've been holding back first.
Konieczny, any information you have which concerns the status of this mission, the vessel, its crew, or its cargo
Yeah,
is
I know.
pertinent
Stop
and
calling me Konieczny. That's the ship, and she's not talking to you. I am.
Dr. Mason.
That's somewhat better. I asked for Chris, but I'll accept Dr. Mason.
Dr. Mason, you are withholding information when we are trying our best to help you. Without complete information, our efforts are seriously hampered.
Now, wait a minute.
We are all aware that you've suffered a head injury.
Yeah, exactly.
One which...
But don't you think you ought to let me get that sorted out before you give me any more bad news? I mean, we don't have to dive right into brace yourself, there's something we haven't told you.
Fair enough.
I mean, come on, I have blood coagulating somewhere in my head.
I apologize, Doctor. It was thoughtless of me to rush ahead of the priorities.
And let's be honest, I was acting like a 5-year-old. Or a shipwreck survivor, which is, you know...
Understandable, under the circumstances. Yes.
You sound like a good person, Sophia. Sorry, Mission Control. You sound like a good person, Mission Control.
Thank you, Konieczny.
And you'll be happy to know that while we've been talking, I have made my way to a monitor that still works, and it has a video cam on it so I can see the top of my head, and it's entirely superficial. I mean, the cut on my head is superficial.
You said you were hit by some debris?
Yeah, that was, it hit me really fast for something in 0G. I don't know what the actual force was, but...
We can calculate that for you.
Please don't. The point, anyway, is that there doesn't seem to be any lasting damage to my personal person.
We're all glad to hear that.
Look, I'm really concerned about the rest of the crew. I don't know why the bridge was empty when I got here, and I can't get any answer on the intercom.
Understood.
Some of them might be hurt, or, well, my place is with them. So I'm going to try to make my way down to the rest of the ship. And, well, since we've lost videocom, I can at least give you some description of what I see along the way.
Anything at all that you can tell us will be helpful.
Okay, here's one ship status report for you. The dilating hatch between the bridge and the access corridor will not open.
Any visible damage to it?
Looks like it did the day it was installed. It's everything else up here that looks like a junkyard.
All right, we have someone looking for the schematic now.
It's getting juice. I can hear the motor, but it sounded like the door was jammed, like there's something holding it in place.
All right, well, I will get somebody else on search for structural diagrams as well.
You'll get somebody on a search? Don't you have all the status boards up? I mean, there used to be somebody at a console all the time looking at every piece of this ship. They could tell me the battery status of my electric razor.
That used to be true, yes.
Okay, we have some time while we wait. I'd love to hear if this is any part of that information you were hiding from me.
Yes, it is.
I'm listening.
The truth is, we need a large and effective team here to assess the damage to the ship, to help you effect repairs, and we're not as well equipped as we'd like to be.
Aha.
In fact, mission control here at Arecibo is rather desperately short-handed.
I see.
We lost 10 people in the last week.
When you say lost, you mean what? They quit? They got drafted, or You mean you lost them as in you misplaced them? Have you looked between the sofa cushions? Hello? Konieczny to Mission Control.
I'm still here.
But not answering my question. What happened to all those people?
The point is simply that the assistance and guidance you're accustomed to is simply no longer available.
So just a little while ago when you said the design team would help me turn on the emergency lights, there's no design team.
I was speaking to an engineer from the design team,
One
yes.
person.
Her information was accurate.
It was, and I'm grateful to her, but why did you call her the design team?
It seemed important to me that you have maximum confidence in the guidance we offered. We have in fact been underreporting the size of our support staff for quite some time.
So you lied.
We exaggerated, and we only did it because we felt it was more important for everyone on the Konieczny to feel confident in our support as possible.
It's not working. If anything, you're raising my level of suspicion and paranoia.
So perhaps I shouldn't have told you the truth.
How would I know when you people are telling us the truth and when you're not? We're still trying to get over that whole stellar nebula electromagnetic whatever.
I don't know what you mean.
I'm not the one who talks to Mission Control, so I'm guessing you weren't on duty for this, but we've been asking why we've lost contact with all the other ships, and you or somebody like you told us that our audio and video transmissions ship to ship were being scrambled by stellar nebula emissions of something. And I got to tell you, our astronomy and physics people here almost herniated themselves laughing at that.
I'm assigned to Konieczny. I have nothing to do with any of the other ships or missions.
So you don't have a better story about why our ships can't talk to each other?
I don't have information on that, no.
Look, so you and I are going to have to work together very closely in an atmosphere of mutual trust. In other words, I need you to not lie to me anymore.
I understand that, Chris. I do.
So tell me the truth.
I am. I don't know why you can't communicate with the other vessels, and we are severely understaffed now, and yes, we have concealed that fact from you.
Well, what happened to all your people there? When we left orbit, you had 100 people.
Some went to be with their families, and, they came here from all over the world, and some did join the Army and said they'd be doing more good there, and some have gone underground.
You mean literally, or?
Oh, yes. There is a community of survivalists in North America. They built this giant enclave under the Mojave Desert.
We used to make fun of those guys. We called them the mole people, and even ruder things.
Well, apparently there are now 50,000 people down there.
Holy smoke. Well, I shouldn't call them crazy. I climbed into a sealed chamber too, right? Shut off from the rest of humanity.
Not quite the same thing.
Why not?
You have a mission.
Sounds like they do too. I assume they plan to one day repopulate the Earth or whatever, so they must be breeding like rabbits down there.
And they may have the right idea, who knows, but since you left, things have definitely gotten worse here.
You mean in Puerto Rico, or?
I mean on Earth. Everywhere.
That was what we expected.
Of course, it's just that...
It doesn't make it any easier to live through, right?
No. Dr. Mason, Chris, you said you had information you weren't telling us?
Well, yes.
Are you going to tell me them now?
I don't think so, no.
Then I have to ask you, has it always been your initial reflex to refuse to follow directions or protocols, or has that developed recently?
Wow, that was personal.
I'm responding to my observations and attempting to gain understanding, so
No, I know. I
just...
say it was unfair. Personal.
I believe now that you were correct when you said earlier that ours is now a personal...
It is. It is. If we're going to get through this thing together, we have to, connect. I believe that. And you're right. I have never been good at simply doing what I've been told, but I will, well, I can't make any promises.
Any effort will be appreciated.
Well, okay, maybe I can get the ball rolling by telling you what I've been keeping to myself, but see, I'm not entirely sure of my own facts. So it's more like I didn't want to say anything because it sounds crazy.
Why not share your information or perception and allow me to judge its validity?
Okay, yeah. Since I'm pretty sure the captain committed suicide, and she was one of the sanest, most level-headed people alive, I think I have an idea about why she did that.
That would be very helpful.
I think it was because of something she saw. Something up here on the bridge.
Do you mean...
I mean, she saw something here that made her want to die.
Relativity.
Episode 2, in which a personnel problem is revealed.
Starred Alana Jordan and Lee Shackelford, who also wrote the script.
Find out much more about this series at relativitypodcast.com.
Relativity.